So on this lesson, we're going to talk about creating a memorable channel name. We want to give people something to make them remember. We want to name our channel something that people are most likely able to come across once. And if we provide good value video, good quality video, which I'm going to be showing, making sure that you're able to do and your team is able to do for you, then eventually if they like our video, they subscribe. We want to have a channel that they're most likely to remember and to come back to search for it again to watch more of our video. So let's talk about what we're going to cover for this lesson. I'm going to be talking about 3 categories to picking a channel name. Usually every YouTube channel name or brand name usually fall under those 3 categories. So I'm going to talk about those 3 categories. You're going to choose which one to name your channel after within. And the second one is we're going to be talking about channel name generator that you can use. Some people coming up with a channel name is like coming up with a baby name. So I'm like, you know what, forget it. I actually have some tool. Usually when I'm coming up with channel name, it's easy for me to do. Literally under an hour, I can come up with a channel name. But for people that sometimes have a hard time doing that, which I found, which is actually common, we're going to be coming up with some channel name generator. And within those generator, whatever keyword that you type, whatever niche that you type is going to give you recommended name that you can actually use for your channel. And they're actually pretty good with coming up with good name. So for most people, choosing a name for their YouTube channel can be as hard as choosing a newborn baby name. So that's why, I'm coming up with the name generator for you guys. But I want you guys to keep in mind, truly you want to pick a name that will stick with your audience and differentiate yourself from everyone else. But remember that we don't want to waste precious time on something that won't bring us much return. The channel name is not really one of those things that matter. It's not really one of the most important factor of having a YouTube channel. There's channels that change their name all the time, so it doesn't matter. That's why it shouldn't take more than a day to come up with a channel name. Because at the end of the day, we want to worry more about stuff that's going to bring us money in than a channel name is not really going to do that. So spending more than a day thinking about a channel name is a big waste of time. We don't want to waste our time in coming up with a channel name. That's why I had the name generator. If you can't come up with a good name, use the name generator to come up with a name. You can always change it in the future, which doesn't really matter. So we don't want to waste time, on something that won't really bring us much return or revenues in general. So usually most YouTube channels fall under these 3 categories. Number 1 is a name. And as you can see right here, you have Michael Seeley, we have Joseph Vincent. These are actually 2 faces channel. And I'm going to open them so you guys could see the example. For example, we see this one. This guy, he just have a meditation channel. So it just provide different meditations that people can sit and listen. And he never shows his face. For his logo, his profile, all he have is his face. He doesn't really have he doesn't really create a professional logo. And he just have his name, his first name and his last name. His channel art is not really fancy. It's just a picture that I'm pretty sure he got from Google. And you could see he grown to 1 million subscribers. So though we're going to talk about this stuff, that's why I'm going to make it super automated for you guys. It doesn't require graphic design and professional stuff because those stuff are not really matter. They're like the little crumb. They're not really the big factor that determine, our channel growth and our revenue growing. So that's why we're not going to waste too much time on doing them. So you can see Michael Seeley. His name is channel Michael Seeley. His channel is all about meditation, sharing different meditation with people. And if we go back, we see Joseph Vincent. Now, Joseph's channel is basically a channel on basketball. He never really showed his face, and he just shared different stuff concerning basketball. Oh, he also shared boxing. So in general sport, it's just in general sport. So his channel just shared general sport news, never show his face, but he named the channel his first name and last name, Joseph Vincent. I want to see his Facebook page. Yeah, doesn't even share his face. He just share videos, basically a faces channel example. So that's one way that you can go. Me personally, I never name a channel after myself. The reason I love this business is because the brand separate apart from me. I don't want to in the future to want to sell the brand, and of course, when the brand is named after yourself, some people won't buy it. And some of those people that name the brand after themselves, for some reason, most of them sometimes are the voiceover, not some of them, not in most cases. So I prefer not to name a brand after myself to keep the identity apart from me. But if someone want to go that route, then feel free to go that route. To be honest, it doesn't really matter that much. If you want to name your channel after you, make sure that there's not a major YouTuber or major channel that have the same name as yours. For example, a lot of us, there's people, it's not really rare that we can find someone around the world that have the same first name and last name as us, especially if you have a popular name like Michael, I don't know, Michael Bob or Bob something, you know, those popular name, Gene, something like that. So if you have a really popular name, then you might want to search on YouTube to make sure that there's not a major channel that's already grown a huge amount of subscriber. And when people, because in the future, once you start getting views and subscribers, people are going to be searching for your channel, and the other channel is going to pop up. So you want to make sure that's not a case. So if there is, then look for different ways. You can name your channel after your initial, or maybe your first name V, Freud V dot. But make sure there's not a major channel that had the same name as yours. For example, James Brown. There's a famous musician that is named James Brown, and when I type James Brown, his channel is like one of the first that shows up. So if you're James Brown, then you want to make sure that you pick a different name or just add your initial. And real quick, guys, to be able to do this, you just simply search your name on YouTube, as you could see, James Brown, and below the search you see filter. If you're doing this on your phone, it will be to the top right. You see the filter, as you guys can see it right here, below the name. It is in blue, and when you see filter, you actually click channel. So it's going to filter to channel. It's going to show you all the channels that have that name, and you want to make sure that channel doesn't have a huge amount of subscriber. It's fine if you have a channel name. It's not really rare. There's some people that pick channel name and they find someone with the same channel name, but the person have 1 subscriber, 2 subscriber, or even 200 subscriber, it's just, it doesn't matter. We're looking for a big brand. So once our channel starts to grow, those channels will not even show up once people start searching for us, for our name. The second category, guys, is business or brand name. We have 2 channel examples. The first one is Improvement Pill. Now, their channel is just about improvement, as the name said. It's basically about self-development. I can put it in that area. They just talk about different stuff to help people become better, create better habits. So how to stay focused longer. The habit tier list, 32 habit, 3 tips for better focus. So they just focus on self-development specifically, and they name their channel Improvement Pill. And you can see kind of the name kind of have it kind of go with what the content that they're going to be posting about. So that's a brand name. Another example is Alux. And usually it doesn't really matter. Your brand doesn't have to kind of say what your channel is about, or the name of your brand doesn't have to say what your channel is about. For example, if you look at major company like Amazon, before Amazon existed, we think about the Amazon River. It had nothing to do. I don't know if it was named after the Amazon River, but it had nothing to do with it. The name Amazon doesn't have any signify that it's an everything store, like their slogan say. So it doesn't matter, to be honest. For example, with a channel like Alux, they just talk about luxury, entrepreneurship, also self-development. In the beginning, it was mainly just luxury, but then they just kind of broadened up to just business, self-development, entrepreneurship, and a luxury. That's why their channel was named Alux, alux.com. It's also it's also a website. Also, they also have a blog that they talk about different type of stuff. So that's a brand name, alux.com. And don't worry if you can't come up with a name. Maybe some of you guys already come up with a name. We're gonna be talking about the name generator real soon. And the last one is actually Explanatory. Explanatory is basically the channel name, just explain what the channel is about. Alux also fall into that. Both of those brand name, they actually kind of fall into it. But I put those example like 5 Minute Craft, which is a channel a lot of people know about. It's literally telling you, hey, this channel will just do 5 Minute Craft. Now, of course, they do 13 minutes, 15 minute, an hour. Of course, they went out and, well, made it 10 Minute Craft and other stuff. But in the beginning, they kept it under 5 minutes, actually. So it wasn't, they weren't making long video. So as they start growing, start making a lot of money, they realize, of course, it's true on YouTube, the longer the video, the more ads you're able to place, which can cause for you to have more revenue. They started to make the video longer, which I'm guessing that's probably the reason why. So you can have an explanatory name, which just name literally say what the channel is about. So if I have a channel that's gonna speak on new technology, uh, a name that I can come up with just on top of my head, New Technology Hub, uh, New Tech Hub, New Tech Palace, and I'm just making up random name. So the name explain what the channel is gonna be about. Those three category you can easily just use one of them. Some people will use their name, which is fine, but if you plan on, and remember, once you grow a brand that is making over 100,000, 10,000, which is very, very possible, sometimes people want to cash out, and sometimes you probably will have an offer to sell that brand. And my experience is better to not name the brand after yourself. Even me, even if I don't plan on selling on the channel, I don't name it after myself because I like to keep it apart from me. But some people, especially if you get into one that you're super passionate about, something you feel like you want to do long term, you want your name to be in that impact the channel is going to make, and that's perfectly fine. Or you can pick a business name, maybe some of you already come up with that, or you can have an explanatory name, which just explain what your channel is about. And we're gonna be getting now to the channel name generator that you can use, and I try to keep this simple. There's a bunch of them in the internet. Honestly, you can just Google them, but those are the two that I use and that are actually give you a good one. So there's a lot more. There's thousands of them. Of course, I didn't have time to go to all of them, but these are the main one that I've been using for years, and you guys can also use them also. So I try to keep it really simple. I'm not gonna put more than two, so you guys don't get overwhelmed and trying all of them and having too much name to kind of compare to come up with just one name. So the first one is called businessnamegenerator.com. So I'm gonna go to businessnamegenerator.com, and you just gotta type any word that is related to your niche, that is related to your channel. So say for example my channel is about, let's say, completely random, my channel is about, man, I've been using architecture a lot. I have a friend who's an architecture, so my channel is about architecture. So I'm gonna type architecture, and hopefully I spelled it correctly. I'm just gonna type architect, and I'm gonna click generate, and it's gonna just generate a bunch of names for you that you could use. And by the way, it tell you that the domain for them is available. Personally, myself, all my channel name I have buy the domain for them. Now, this is not something that you have to do. Some of you guys, you really don't have to do this. I do it because long term, as I grow the brand, my brand, I plan on monetizing them long term outside of YouTube, which means creating a blog for the channel, creating other social media page for them. So I kind of buy the name. So when I need to create a website, the website could be the channel name. So once I grew the brand, I don't wanna try to look for the name. Maybe I wanna create a other stream of income to bring the YouTube viewers to the website so I can sell them other product and stuff like that. So I don't wanna be stuck in someone else already buy my domain. So that's why I love the business name generator, because it shows you name that the domain is available. And the domain is like $10, at most $10 a year, by the way. $10 a year. So it's like $1 per month. Well, cheaper than that. So that's why I buy my domain name. They renew every year until I just want to use them. I want to create another source of income, or I want to create a blog or something about, or I want to create a product on the brand. I just buy the domain name, which is not, that's why I didn't put it on here. I'm not really going to talk about it. It's not something that is really that you have to do. I have a friend of mine that started a brand, and he created a product for the brand to sell to the viewers on the back end, and his domain was taken. And all he did was just add official to the end, so architecturerushofficial.com. Because usually when the domain is taken, or if it's not, or if it's taken by someone, they're trying to sell it for like thousands, possibly millions of dollars. That's actually a business that people, they just buy a domain name and hoping that someone will need it to purchase it from them. So basically, we have a lot of good name: Architecture Rush, Architecture Push, Architect Precious, Architect Pro, Architect Pad, Architect Optimium, Architect Ground, Architect Top, Architect Guide. So basically, it just have a bunch of them. The only thing I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. Just pick one that sounds the best for you. Don't go in and making a bunch of lists and don't overthink it. It really doesn't matter. Just choose the first one that caught your attention and that sound good for you. Don't really overthink it. For example, me, if I was starting a channel architect, one of them actually on the first page really caught my attention, which was the architect pad for some reason. Architect Power, Architect Empower. I don't really like that one. Sound like a robot. But just choose the first one that catch your attention. So don't go deep, copy and paste and put in a Google Doc and trying to see which one is the best. Whatever first one that caught your attention, pick it. Or maybe you have a friend with you or something like that. You can get their opinion. But don't waste more than a day to actually come up with a channel name. It's not worth it, to be honest. The second one is SpinXO. SpinXO is also a really good one. This one you could add multiple word or keyword or even phrases that are related to your channel, so they could recommend a lot of names for you, and it will give you a list of names. And if you don't see any name that you like, you click spin and we'll give you more name. You click spin, it just will generate a bunch of names. Like, you can click spin all day, you're gonna get new names all day. For example, you could see niche. Let's do law of attraction. Attraction bill, attraction TV, daily law status. With this, you can't really see if the domain is taken. You're gonna have to go to, oh yeah, so yeah, you're gonna have to click on the name. It's gonna, yeah, you're gonna have to go to GoDaddy. So you just have GoDaddy open. You can check on the domain or Namecheap, whichever one. You can check on the name. For some reason, I thought it would show me the name, domain, but it won't. So you just type whatever you niche, or maybe you have an idea of topic that your videos are gonna be about. Let me put tech, and we're gonna click spam, and it's gonna give you a bunch of names. It's gonna give you around 30 names. And if I don't like any of those names, if I don't like any of those names, I just gotta click spin again, and it changed. It showed me new 30. Spin. You just can keep clicking spin, and it's gonna show you new name. So this simplifies the whole process. I don't want you guys to really take a lot of time doing this, because it's not gonna really make a huge impact or to your channel. So it's not really gonna get closer to having a well-built monetized channel that is growing. So the don't in choosing a name, I had to make this because I saw this happening a lot, so I kind of added on here. Don't make your channel name very long. Like I said, you want to make it something that people will remember. So for example, welcome to My Amazing Cooking TV. Actually, now that I'm saying, it's kind of catchy, but don't make it too long. You don't want it something that people are gonna type too long to type too much word, because people these days are super lazy. I know I myself, can be lazy to type even long sentence, long paragraph, especially as a guy. So don't make it long that people will type for. And second is name with train simple. I don't know why people do this, but they do it. So for example, say you're creating a channel about basketball. You put example hoop, I guess, which is related to basketball. Hoop 1 at money sign. It makes zero sense. So you want to make it something that people are going to remember. So remember, I put your channel name is not a password. It's a channel name. You want something that, if I'm pretty sure no one will name their baby hoop 1 at money sign, unless you're Elon Musk or something like that. So make sure your channel name is something that people remember. It's like you're naming a baby. You want it to be something that people remember, something that is nice. But don't take too long, like people will take to come up with a baby name. And also name with no relation to your channel. Now, using the name generator, you can come up with, I have channels where it doesn't really say what the channel is about, or it doesn't really say the niche of the channel, but it kind of bring a message across. But make sure that when you name your channel, you don't name it something that have no relation to your channel. For example, baby poo for a channel about basketball. That will make sense if I have a channel that's focusing, I don't know, on talking about new mom or something like that that's related to babies, but it makes zero sense to make a channel, name a channel baby poo that's about basketball. So make sure it's not very long, very catchy for people to remember. Make sure there's no strange symbols in it, and make sure that it's not something that have no relation. It's not a wording or a phrasing that have no relation to what your channel is going to be about. So summary, plan of action, because we want to make sure we have a channel name before moving on, which should not take long. Should honestly take about 5 minutes or less. So using the tip and tool that are linked below, I'm leaving a link below to SpinXO, to the business name generator, so you guys can use them, or you can come up with your own names, whether you want to make it categorical, whether you want to name it after you, or whether you want to name it a brand or something kind of related to your niche. So without further ado, guys, make sure that you have the name created, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.